Hello, my name is Dr. Jazz Hill-Valla and I'm a satellite systems engineer. I've had a very diverse career for such a short amount of time. I've done a lot of research, I've done hardware design and testing, I've done a little bit of coding and some tiny bit of data analysis as well. So I'm a really good all-rounder, and I wanted to get into systems engineering because I like problem solving and I like seeing a project all the way through and understanding all of the different aspects of a project. So for me, systems engineering really uses the best of my skills. And I wanted to move away from academia into the space industry to be able to really use those skills on exciting new projects. An average day in my job starts with a technical meeting where me and the other members of my team will get together and have a discussion about a technical part of the project that we're either stuck on or we're trying to develop. And sometimes we just end up planning what we're going to work on for the rest of the week. Then the rest of the day, I will maybe do a little bit of project planning. So I tend to, if I'm in the office, I'll walk around, get a whiteboard, try and come up with timing algorithms for satellites, or working on how we test the hardware and things like that. So I spend a lot of time drawing flow diagrams and thinking about algorithms. I also do a little bit of engagement with the academic community, thinking about how we can use some of the data we collect from satellites to benefit universities. So it's quite diverse. Current working conditions for me at the moment are mostly office-based. I actually started my job during the pandemic, so I was working from home for the first couple of months. Now the office has opened up, I like to go in 2 or 3 times a week, use the whiteboards, have in-person discussions, and I'm hoping that at one point I'll be going to the lab maybe once every week, once every 2 weeks, to work more closely with the technical team, because that means that I get a better understanding of their technology, they might get some help in the lab that they need, and we can work together to really get the hardware parts of the project engineered and make the most of our knowledge together. So originally I am a researcher. I did my undergraduate in astrophysics at the University College London. Then I did a master's still at UCL, but I moved away from kind of observing and traditional astronomy into instrumentation and thinking about how to design instruments for astronomy. So then I went and did a PhD at the University of Oxford in radio instrumentation. So that meant that I spent a lot of time designing big antenna and electronics to look at the signals from the Big Bang, so the cosmic microwave background. Now, that sounds pretty different to satellite engineering, but a lot of the technology is very similar because I did radio, so it's all the same wavelengths and frequencies that we use for communication. I also did a little bit of coding and data analysis too. So like I said, I'm a big all-rounder. So I wanted to get a job that really fulfilled all of those skills that I have and knowledge that I have, and put them all together and see all of the interlinks of all these interdisciplinary areas that I've specialised in. So the skills I need for my job, I've said it once and I will say it again: problem solving. is the most important skill. It comes from just experience and years of being trained as a physicist. Problem solving is probably the most important skill. So you've also got all of your maths skills and coding as well, which is something I've not really been trained in and just had to use. So it's a skill that I've developed as I've gone through my career. Otherwise, there's a lot of softer skills that are really essential in my role. Communication's really important. Teamwork is the most essential thing ever, because otherwise we would never get anything done. And also some leadership elements where you have to just accept that maybe you've got to take control of one part of the project and lead and understand everyone's strengths and weaknesses and how you can all work together as a really great team. Best bit about my job, I think, is one, I'm challenged every day and I'm always learning something new, so it never gets dull. And two, I think working for the particular organisation I work for, we do a lot of different projects and we work in a lot of different areas. We work in the health sector using space for health. We work in the agriculture sector using satellite data for agriculture and other things like climate science. So I get to work with people that come from all different backgrounds that are all joining together in the space industry, and that just encourages some really, really exciting discussions. The thing I enjoy least is that I hate sitting at a desk all day. I find it really, really difficult. I'm a very active person. I want to be running around doing things with my hands, but I've ended up becoming so desk bound because of just the more kind of theoretical aspects of my work. And I've always been pushed to the more theoretical side of instrumentation or design. So what would improve my job is to just get a little bit more hands-on experience and getting into the lab, or just getting to travel around and talk to people and become a little bit more engaged. My long-term future hopes are that I really get to kind of plan or almost get to a stage where I'm project managing a project. So really contributing to the whole process and seeing a whole project all the way through. My own personal goals in where I want to move to is I would really like to influence the space sector to be more sustainable and to be greener. That's my kind of ongoing role. I think a lot of people really like this idea of going to Mars, but I don't like the fact that it's dominated by billionaires or anything like that. So I would really like to get more involved in space regulation and policy and making it accessible for everyone, and promoting sustainability and approaching the space industry in a much more sustainable way. For anyone interested in joining the space industry, I would say that no matter what your background is, no matter what your skill set is, just go for it. I work with people that are apprentices. I know I have a PhD, which makes me like quite highly qualified, but I work with people that don't have that level of academic background that are just as knowledgeable and so important and an integral part of making our whole team function, because we need good communicators, we need good document writers, we need people being trained as technical staff that's so specialist, that they've always had really great hands-on experiences like apprentices and things like that. So I would say that if you feel like the space industry isn't for you, then think again, because we need as many people from as many different backgrounds as possible. It's such a collaborative and interdisciplinary environment to work in. remember on my first day of studying astrophysics, I called up the Department of Engineering at UCL and asked if they had any spaces for me to just join over into, I think it was electrical engineering, because I wasn't sure about whether astrophysics would be for me, since it's really theoretical and I wanted to be more hands-on. And the person on the other end of the phone said, no, we don't have any spaces left. So I just said, okay, well, I'll do astrophysics. And I did 10 years of astrophysics, and now I am an engineer anyway. So I think you never know what route you're going to take, but if you're really determined to get somewhere, you're probably going to get there. And just enjoy the route that you take, because it means that you're unique and all the skills you've learned and how you've developed as a person is always going to be applicable to wherever you end up.